Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings for Monday, January the 9th. Hope you all had a good weekend, guys. We're back to talk through Monday's slate. We got 6 games today, so relatively, smaller slate for a Monday, but as always, we're going to go through each one of these 6 games, going to give you kind of a quick game-by-game breakdown, what I do like, taking a first look at this slate on Sunday night. Before we do get started with the breakdown, though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these DFS videos, make sure you hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet, and if you guys are new to the channel, check out the sponsor of the video, PrizePicks. So PrizePicks, they are a player prop based DFS site. I'm sure most of you guys have heard about PrizePicks, but if you haven't checked them out yet, you can sign up with my promo code Noah. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up for PrizePicks with my promo code. And for those of you that are unaware how PrizePicks works, they're more so focused on player props, so it's a little bit different than DraftKings, FanDuel, those DFS sites. You're not building out a lineup, you're not competing against other players. It's just you versus their projections, and they have projections already posted for some of Monday's games. You can take a look and see if there's anything that stands out to you. You just take more or less on a player's projection. It's simple as that. That you can make up to 2 picks, or you have to make at least 2 picks, but you can make up to 6 picks. And you can win up to 25x your money on PrizePicks. You can also mix and match sports on PrizePicks. We do have a lot of sports going on right now. We have the college football championship, Georgia TCU game. That's on Monday night. So you can take a look at the board for that. If you're into college football, they have some props up for the college football playoff game, for the championship game. So yeah, give PrizePicks a try, guys. Use that promo code Noah when you do sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk through Monday's 6-game slate, and we'll start off with the first game of the night, the Pelicans and the Wizards. So we'll start off on the Wizards side. They're still going to be without Bradley Beal. I think he's out for at least like a week or two, I think is what I saw. So we got Porzingis coming in at 9,400, Kuzma coming in at 8,400. Obviously, without Bradley Beal, these are going to be the 2 guys that really dominate the usage, do a lot of the heavy lifting on offense for Washington. Porzingis is really expensive, but he's obviously got big-time upside without Beal. I think this price tag is about right for him. I'm not running to roster Porzingis today. I think he's solid, but I'm not going out of my way to play him. I don't have an issue with Porzingis. I have a feeling though there's other guys I'd rather pay up for. I probably would take the savings and play Kuzma if I had to pick between one of the 2 big 2 to go to from the Wizards. I think Kuzma would be the guy I would prefer. We know Kuzma is going to play huge minutes. He's been really productive this season. He's been scoring a ton. He's been rebounding really well, and obviously without Beal, we can expect his usage, his scoring to increase. I think the matchup against New Orleans is okay. He'll probably be guarded by Herb Jones here, who's a good defender, but Kuzma's going to have a big role. I think at 8,400 he is a playable option today. The rest of the Wizards, I don't really ever get excited about these value guys. Monte Morris just hasn't shown much upside this season. He's 4,800. He's cheap. Not super interested though. Rui Hachimura coming off the bench, probably going to play low to mid 20s minutes. Feels priced about right. I think he's playable, but I'm not in love with Rui today. Daniel Gafford's been starting lately, should play mid-20s minutes. Daniel Gafford is a pretty productive per-minute producer. I think the matchup against J-Val is a little bit scary because J-Val does do a really good job at drawing fouls. And Daniel Gafford really struggles with picking up fouls. He's a guy that gets in foul trouble a lot. But I think if he's not in foul trouble, he is going to play 25, 26 minutes. Now, we haven't seen a massive ceiling on Gafford. We haven't seen him put up 45 DraftKings points, but you look at his game log, he's been consistently giving you 28, 30 DK points a night. Again, the minutes have been solid. He's been playing about 25 to 28 minutes. If he plays 25 to 28 minutes, he's pretty likely to get you 25, 26 DraftKings points, if not more than that. So as a value play, I do have some interest in Daniel Gafford today. We'll have to see what kind of value opens up, if any value opens up today. But I think right now, as a first look value, Daniel Gafford does look pretty solid. But the rest of Washington, I'm not super interested in. Now we can go ahead and talk about the Pelicans side. So for the Pelicans, still no Zion, no Brandon Ingram. So kind of similar situation. We got a few guys that are really going to demand a lot of usage here. CJ McCollum obviously being the first guy at 8,500. I definitely have interest in CJ McCollum here. He's been really good in the games that he's played without Ingram and without Zion as of late. He's been playing really big minutes. I think the matchup against the Wizards, it's fine here for CJ McCollum. So at 8,500, I do have a good amount of interest in CJ McCollum today. Between him, Beal, or Porzingis, I think McCollum is probably my favorite of those 3. Or not Beal, but it's between Porzingis, McCollum, and Kuzma. I think McCollum's probably my favorite of those 3. And then J-Val at 6,600, I do like quite a bit. Now, J-Val's minutes, they've been all over the place this season, but without Zion, you can kind of expect J-Val to play mid to high 20s minutes. Last few games, he's played 32, 26, and 30 minutes. I think we're going to get like 25 to 30 minutes from J-Val, and he is a pretty good per minute producer. When he gets around 30 minutes, he can usually get you 35, 40 plus DraftKings points. He's had 40 plus in 2 out of his last 3 games. We've seen the Wizards give up some big games to centers this season, so I definitely like J-Val at 6,600. I think he's a really good option. And then these other guys like Najee Marshall, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, they all feel priced about right. Trey Murphy and Herb Jones haven't really been doing much lately. Trey Murphy's been super unproductive. Like his points he's been averaging like 0.5 fantasy points per minute. Like he's turned into PJ Tucker. It's really weird. He's been playing good minutes. He just hasn't been very productive. His usage rate's also not the best. Like he has a really low usage rate. He's kind of a spot up shooter. He's got to knock down shots to really have a good game because he's not really going to do much else. So I'm not super in love with Trey Murphy. Herb Jones is kind of out there for defense. He's never been like a great fantasy producer. He did have a really good game last game, but I know Dallas rested a lot, the Pelicans rested a lot of guys in that game. So like I don't want to look too much into last game. Normally when Herb is playing with McCollum, with J-Val, he's not going to be that productive. 4,900, I'm not in love with Herb. Now Najee Marshall has been actually pretty productive in the minutes that he's gotten as of late. Do I expect him to play 38 minutes today like he played last game? I don't think he's going to play 38 minutes, but I think he will get probably 30 to 32. At 5,500, I think he is priced correctly. Like, I don't think he's this glaring value, but of all the Pelicans' value today, I think Marshall's probably my favorite if I had to go to anyone. And the rest of these guys I'm not super interested in, like Larry Nance and Alvarado. The rest of these guys I'm not going to go to, so that's pretty much it from the Pelicans, and I think that's it for this game. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game, the Bulls and the Celtics. So we'll start off on the Celtics side. You got Jason Tatum coming in at 10-7. You got Jaylen Brown coming in at 9,500. On this slate, I don't think either one of these Boston guys are like priority spend-ups for me. I think it is a pretty good matchup for Jason Tatum. I know the Bulls have been giving up some big games to power forwards this season. I don't think the Bulls really have anyone that can slow down Tatum here. They're probably going to put Patrick Williams on him, but Patrick Williams, he's a good defender, but he's not going to slow down Jason Tatum. Tatum's a matchup-proof player anyways. 10-7 does feel like an appropriate price tag for Tatum. But he's playable. Jaylen Brown is playable. Neither one of those guys, though, stand out as priority spend-ups today. I want to talk about the guards from Boston because that's what I really like. So Marcus Smart has already been ruled doubtful for this game. So with Marcus Smart doubtful, we can expect more minutes for Malcolm Brogdon, more minutes for Derek White. We can probably expect more minutes for Peyton Pritchard as well. Brogdon and White, I think, are the two guys that really stand out here. I made Brogdon the thumbnail for today. I think Brogdon at 5,300 stands out as a really good play. I assume he'll still come off the bench. I doubt he's going to start. They like bringing him off the bench. He's pretty much their sixth man. But even coming off the bench, I think we're going to get like 25 to 28 minutes from Malcolm Brogdon. And he's been relatively productive on a per-minute basis with the Celtics this season. And obviously without Marcus Smart, there's a chance his minutes get up even higher here. So definitely like Brogdon at 5,300. I think Derek White's minutes are more secure. I think he probably plays around 30 minutes. At 5,100, I think he's a viable option in the 5K range. And then the bigs, Horford and Williams, I'm not super interested in here, but it's going to be interesting to see what the Celtics do with the starting lineup. So they could like slide Derek White down to point guard and then start like Grant Williams. They could slide Derek White down to point guard and start Robert Williams. They could also start Peyton Pritchard. I think last time Marcus Smart was out, they did start Peyton Pritchard. Now Peyton Pritchard in that game that he started, he really didn't do much. I can't remember which game it was. It was one of these games, or I think it might have been this Indiana game. Honestly, I can't remember. Even if Peyton Pritchard starts, like I don't think I'd be running to roster him. But he's only 3,300. He would definitely be a playable option if he does start. If they start Robert Williams, I'm very interested in Robert Williams at 4,400. His minutes, as of late, have been kind of in the low 20s. If he does wind up starting, I think there's a chance that you could see him play like 25, 26 minutes maybe. He was really productive last game against San Antonio, had a double-double in 22 minutes, 41 DraftKings points. We know that Robert Williams is a very good per-minute producer. And if they change up the starting, or they're going to have to change up the starting lineup without Marcus Smart. And if they wind up, sliding everyone down, or sliding everyone up, I should say, and then starting Robert Williams at center, really going to be interested in Robert Williams if he moves into the starting lineup. So that'll be something to pay attention to. There's definitely some plays I like from Boston, though. I think the guards right now are my favorites, White and Brogdon. But I have a little bit of interest in Tatum as a pay-up option. And then whoever starts for Smart, whether it be Robert Williams, Grant Williams, Pritchard. Grant Williams and Pritchard I wouldn't be as excited about, but I would definitely be excited to go to Robert Williams if he winds up starting. But then on the other side with the Bulls here, so you got DeRozan at 9K, Vooch at 8K, and Levine at 7,500. Obviously not the best spot here against Boston, not a team that I really like to attack, so I don't think I'm going to be going to many Bulls today. You could always go to DeRozan. He's got plenty of upside. You could always go to Vooch. He's got upside. Same could be said for LaVine. I know Vooch has been playing really well as of late. He's had some really big games lately. I think this is a tougher matchup, though, against the Celtics, especially with them getting Robert Williams. That's definitely going to improve their defense. The 8K price tag also doesn't really make Vooch a standout play. So, yeah, I'm not very interested in many Bulls here. The Bulls are probably going to be a team that I most likely just kind of avoid on this slate. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game, talk about the Bucks and the Knicks. So for the Knicks today, RJ Barrett, I believe, is doubtful, so he's not expected to be back yet for this game. So there's still no RJ Barrett. We can expect a big role for Julius Randle, big role for Jalen Brunson. Randle has been playing like at an elite level lately. He's just been scoring a ton. He's been taking a ton of threes. I don't love this matchup against Milwaukee. I think this is definitely a tough matchup for Julius Randle. He's more of a GPP play. He's going to be really low owned, I'd assume. If you want to go there for low ownership, I don't hate it. But Randle, definitely not a priority for me. Brunson at 8,100, not a priority for me either. Don't love the matchup for him against Milwaukee. Again, Milwaukee's a good defensive team. They're not a team that I really like to attack. Drew's probably going to be guarding Brunson here, and obviously Drew's a really good defender. But Brunson is going to play huge minutes. He's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. He's going to take a ton of shots. Him and Randle, I think, are both GPP options. Neither one are standout plays, but they're definitely viable for tournaments. The rest of the Knicks, quickly, Grimes, Robinson, pretty much going to pass on these guys. Nobody else I like on New York. And then on the Milwaukee side, 12K for Giannis here. Don't love the spot for Giannis. The Knicks do a pretty good job of kind of clogging the paint. Mitchell Robinson's a good shot blocker. He's a guy that can defend the paint pretty well. But Giannis is like a matchup-proof player. He's pretty much coming off like his worst game ever. Like that last game against Charlotte. I mean, go figure. One of the probably best possible matchups for Giannis, and he puts up 12 Draftkings points in 22 minutes. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if Giannis was sick or what, but like him putting up that stat line against Charlotte is just mind-boggling. That has to be like one of the worst games of his career. Obviously, we should expect Giannis to bounce back here. The 12K price tag, though, doesn't make Giannis a standout play. He's always viable, but I'm not going to be going out of my way to play Giannis on the slate. I think there are other guys that I would rather pay up for, that we'll talk about later. And then the rest of Milwaukee, I'm not super interested in. I know Drew recently came off the bench, and then last game he only played 19 minutes. Now, obviously, last game was a blowout, but they've kind of been keeping Drew's minutes down as of late. He's come back from an injury. They haven't really been running him into the ground. I would be very surprised if Drew just plays like 36 minutes today. Because the last two games he's only played 19 minutes. Again, blowout last game, kind of costed him, but I think we get like 28, 30 minutes from Drew. I don't think we get his full like 35, 36 minutes. So if he's not playing full minutes, he's going to be tough to go to even at 7,400. Even though the price tag is down, I'm not in love with Drew here. And the rest of the Bucks, Portis, Lopez, I'll pass on these guys. So let's move on to the next game, the Spurs and the Grizzlies. So this one's very, very interesting. Two teams that play relatively fast, and then obviously on the San Antonio side, San Antonio plays no defense. They've been one of the worst defensive teams in the league this season, so it is a great spot here for these Memphis guys. But we don't really know yet who's playing for Memphis. So Memphis is on the second night of a back-to-back. Ja Morant did not play on Sunday. Steven Adams did not play on Sunday, and I think, Brandon Clark did not play on Sunday either. So do these guys play today? I don't really know. I'd assume Ja plays. I'm guessing they just sat Ja kind of for, just for injury management. I don't know if he's actually like super hurt, if he's really hurt right now. So I expect Ja to play today. Steven Adams, on the other hand, he got ruled out with an illness. So don't know if this is a scenario where Steven Adams comes back. Steven Adams is not a guy that really ever sits games. So for him to miss a game with an illness, it's got to be an illness that's actually bothering him. So I think there's a good chance Steven Adams could be out again. If Steven Adams is out again and Brandon Clark is out again, we should see Xavier Tillman start at center. Xavier Tillman did start at center on Sunday, and he played really well. He was really productive. He played 33 minutes, put up 30 Draftkings points. That was obviously a great matchup against Utah. Well, this is a great matchup against San Antonio. So if there's no Clark and there's no Adams and Tillman starts at center again, I think Tillman is going to be one of the best value plays on the slate. He's going to be a guy that I have a lot of interest in. If Adams doesn't play and Clark plays, then in that scenario, Clark would probably draw the start. And if Brandon Clark were to start, he would be a really good value play. So just going to have to pay attention to kind of the Memphis bigs. Ja Morant, assuming he plays here, I think is in a fantastic spot. San Antonio, they play no defense. No one on San Antonio is going to stop Ja here. I know, he was a little bit disappointing last time they played the Spurs, but I think it's a great spot for Ja. Expect him to have a really good game here. I think at 10-3, he looks like a really good pay-up option. The only concern I have is, can San Antonio keep this game close? The Spurs are really bad. They get blown out a lot. Memphis has been blowing out teams a lot lately. But if this game stays close, I think Ja offers massive upside. And do want to mention that since it is a back-to-back, I think there's a good chance Desmond Bane does not play. Last back-to-back they had, Desmond Bane did not play, so probably going to see Desmond Bane sit today. He's coming back from an injury, so if Desmond Bane sits, obviously even better for Ja. Would give a little boost to Triple J, give a little boost to Dylan Brooks as well. Those guys I think would look more appealing. Triple J's been putting up some huge games lately. I think it's a really good matchup for him. As long as he can avoid foul trouble, I think Triple J offers a lot of upside in this matchup, so don't even mind going there. And then again, if Desmond Bane rests on the back-to-back, obviously Dylan Brooks would look really appealing. Tyus Jones, probably only going to consider Tyus Jones if Ja Morant sits again, but I think Ja's going to play. And that's probably it for Memphis. I don't see too much else. I guess, if Bane does wind up resting, we could consider John Conchar as a value. I know last time Bane was out, Conchar didn't really do much. He didn't provide much, but he is cheap. It's a good matchup. I wouldn't mind going to Conchar in a scenario where Bane does wind up sitting. But that's pretty much it for Memphis. And then on the San Antonio side, so Keldon Johnson is listed as questionable for this game. This will be something to monitor. I played him last slate on Friday. Super, super annoying. I had a pretty solid team Friday. Was just outside the cash line and had fucking Keldon Johnson in my lineup. So that was super annoying. We'll have to see if Keldon Johnson plays today. He's questionable. If he does wind up playing, I think he's going to take up a lot of usage here. The reason I liked him so much on Friday, for one, it was a great matchup, but no Devin Vassell right now. So Keldon Johnson's kind of the number one guy in terms of soaking up usage. The offense is going to run through him. Matchup here against Memphis is not nearly as good as it was last game against Detroit, but I think at 7K, Keldon Johnson would still look like a pretty solid play, assuming he's able to go. If Keldon Johnson does not play, then we can expect a really big role for Trey Jones, really big role for Sohan. These guys would look pretty solid. Trey Jones had a pretty good game on Sunday without Keldon Johnson. Played 30 minutes, had 33 DK points. That was a game against Boston, tough matchup. Again, not the best matchup here against Memphis, but I would like Trey Jones a good amount if Keldon Johnson's out. I think Sohan would get pretty good minutes. He didn't play a ton on Sunday, but he did play 27 minutes. He probably would play around 30 minutes, and at 5K, he would be a playable option. And then value-wise from San Antonio, I don't know if there'd be too much value to go to. Josh Richardson, I think, still probably plays good minutes. I think he's a solid value. Would like him a little bit more if Keldon got ruled out. But I think without Devin Vassell, I think Josh Richardson's going to have a pretty solid role every night, coming off the bench. Like other guys, though, like Romeo Langford, probably not going to go there. Not a guy that offers a ton of upside, but I'm pretty sure he did start on Sunday. I think he's been starting. I can't remember who started for Keldon Johnson. I think it might have been Keita Bates-Diop. Yeah, I think it was Keita Bates-Diop. So, he might be a guy we can consider for value if he starts again, if Keldon sits. But I think that's it for San Antonio. I didn't mention Jakob Poeltl. Poeltl at 5,900, don't mind here. Obviously had a huge game against Detroit. This is a really tough matchup against Memphis, but I will say that if Memphis is missing Steven Adams, this definitely becomes a lot better matchup for Poeltl. But 5,900 is definitely cheap for Poeltl if he's going to be playing his full minutes. And last game, he played 32 minutes. So if we're getting anywhere near 30, 32 minutes from Poeltl, he's definitely too cheap, even with a tough matchup here. So I do like Poeltl quite a bit at 5,900. I think he is in play. Just, man, I get scared like loading up on Spurs today just because I think this game does have blowout risk. But we'll have to see who actually winds up playing here. This is a game that, definitely is going to be one to keep an eye on because obviously a lot of guys questionable right now on both sides here. But let's move on to the next game. Two more to go to. So Lakers and Nuggets. Start off on the Nuggets side. A really good spot here for Denver going up against the Lakers. Lakers play at a fast pace. They haven't really been playing much defense lately. I think it's a really good spot for Nikola Jokic. Obviously, no Anthony Davis right now for the Lakers. So, going up against Thomas Bryant, I think it's a matchup Jokic can definitely take advantage of. I think Jokic is probably one of my favorite pay-up options on the slate. He's right there with like Ja Morant as like favorite spin-ups for me. We'll have to see what kind of value we get on the slate if we do get any value. If we get value and I can pay up for Jokic, he's the guy that I think I want to spend up for. But I think regardless, Jokic is going to be someone worth targeting. It's going to be tough to get there if we don't have much value, but we'll just have to see what kind of value opens up. Really good spot, though, for Jokic. Like him quite a bit. The rest of Denver, on the other hand, it is a good matchup for these other guys, but I don't see any standout plays from Denver outside of Jokic. I think Jamal Murray would probably be my second favorite play. He's only 6,800. That is pretty cheap for Jamal Murray, and I think this is a really good matchup for him. I know the Lakers have given up some big games to point guards this season. I know they've given up a lot of fancy points to the point guard position. Jamal Murray's not been super great lately. His production has been pretty bad, but this is definitely kind of a get-right spot for him. Good matchup. He's had some tough matchups lately, but this is obviously not that. So Jokic, Murray, very interested in both those guys. Probably going to pass on the rest of Denver, though. And then on the other side with the Lakers, so LeBron at 10,900. He's just been rock solid as of late, super, super consistent. The floor is great. The ceiling, we've definitely seen somewhat of a ceiling from LeBron as of late. Had a huge game against Atlanta, huge game against Charlotte. At 10-9, I don't have an issue going to LeBron today. I would rather get up to Jokic. I think you get a bigger ceiling from Jokic, but like for cash games, I mean, there's no problem rostering LeBron in cash games right now just because he's, like on a bad night, he's giving you like 50. He's just been super, super consistent. So no issue with LeBron here. I think he's firmly in play. The rest of the Lakers, though, I don't love Westbrook here at his price tag. I wish he was a little bit cheaper. Thomas Bryant's been doing really well lately, been playing big minutes, been super productive. I think this is kind of a tougher matchup for him against Jokic, and there's some foul trouble risk here as well, but the minutes have been there for Thomas Bryant. He is a good per-minute producer. I think he's playable at 6,300. Dennis Schroeder's been playing well lately, but I'll pass on him at 5,700. I think he's a bit overpriced right now. The rest of these value guys, Patrick Beverley, Troy Brown, Kendrick Nunn, just not going to go there, I don't think. So let's go ahead and move on to the last game of the night, the Magic and the Kings. So we'll start off on the Kings side. Really good spot here for the Kings. Magic are not the best defensive team. I think Sabonis at 10,500. He's always a playable pay-up option, but I think there's other guys I'd rather go to today. John Morant, Jokic, LeBron, probably even Tatum I think I would play over Sabonis. Never have an issue going to Sabonis. He's been super consistent lately, but I think this matchup, not one where I would expect Sabonis to put up like a huge, huge game. He's playable, but not my favorite pay-up option. De'Aaron Fox has had some big games lately. I think this is a pretty good spot for him. I know the Magic have given up some big games to point guards this season. Markelle Fultz, not a good defender. Cole Anthony, not a good defender. So definitely between the two Sacramento guys, between Sabonis and Fox, I think I would take the savings and play Fox. He's almost $2,000 cheaper. 8,700. I think this price tag is one that Fox can definitely pay off in this matchup. So I do like him quite a bit. And the rest of Sacramento, I'm not like super interested in. Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, these guys I'll probably pass on. Malik Monk was out last game, I think, but he's back for this one, so he should be good to go. Not much interest in him. I know Keegan Murray's he's flashed some upside lately. I mean, he's been somewhat solid. He's been getting decent minutes. If we don't really get any value today, I don't hate going to Keegan Murray for value. He's going to play like 30 minutes. He's not really going to give you a huge ceiling, but if you need a guy at 4K that can give you like 25 DraftKings points, I mean, Keegan Murray's probably your guy. So I think Keegan Murray as a value is okay, if no other value opens up today. But that's pretty much it from Sacramento. I think definitely my favorite play from Sacramento is probably De'Aaron Fox. And then on the other side with Orlando, so Paolo Banchero's been playing much better lately. He was going through like a rough stretch where he was doing really poorly, but the last few games he's looked really solid. 47 DK points against OKC, 48 against Memphis, 38 last game against Golden State. Only thing you have to worry about when you're rostering a bunch of Magic guys is just, can the Magic keep the game close? But against the Sacramento team that has been playing really well this season, I think this could be a game that does stay close. And for what it's worth, when these teams played earlier this season, Banchero had a huge game. 62 DraftKings points, 33 points, 16 rebounds. Probably, I would say that was his best game of the season. It had to have been. So, yeah, he put up his best game of the season against Sacramento earlier this year. Sacramento plays at a fast pace, so I think this game does offer some high scoring, good game environment upside. Just can Orlando keep it close? That's the big thing. But I definitely think Banchero at 8,200 is in play. Not super interested in Franz Wagner or Markelle Fultz. I think Wendell Carter Jr., as long as he's in the starting lineup, I have some interest in. He's been starting lately, been playing about 30 to 32 minutes. His production has not been great. In these starts, he's put up 35 DK points in 30 minutes, 28 DK points in 30 minutes, 31 DK points in 31 minutes. He's been averaging right around a fantasy point per minute. If he continues to play low 30s minutes, though, I think at 6,400, he definitely offers the upside to pay off this price tag. Now, we'll have to keep an eye on who's actually available for the Magic today. So Bol is out. We do know that. But Mo Wagner has been suspended lately. Mo Wagner, though, is expected to be back for this game. I guess Mo Wagner will come off the bench and they'll keep starting Wendell Carter Jr. So as long as Wendell Carter Jr. is still starting, him and Banchero are probably my two favorite plays on Orlando. Don't think I'm going to go to anyone else on this Magic team, though. Nothing else really stands out here. So that'll do it for that game, and that'll do it for the 6 games on Monday night, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, appreciate you watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, go check out PrizePicks, sponsor of the video. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks. Use my promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up for PrizePicks. Definitely check them out. See some of the props they have available for Monday's games. See if there's anything that stands out to you. Again, you have to make at least 2 picks, but you can make up to 6 picks. You can win up to 25x your money on Prize Picks. Give them a try. Sign up with that promo code. Get your deposit bonus when you do sign up. But good luck on this Monday slate, guys. Hope you all enjoy your Monday night. Hopefully we can all win some money tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.